Today we're going to be talking about what the narcissist means when they tell you that they love you. When you're dealing with somebody who has high narcissistic traits, it can be mind-bending because when you enter into these relationships, you are idealized and you are often love-bombed, and the narcissists themselves are actually fawning all over you, right? You don't understand that there is this ulterior motive or there's this inability for the narcissist to truly be intimate, and that the courtship is really a smoke and mirrors screen. You don't know that. If you are somebody who has high empathy and you are somebody who wants to bond with someone, it could be really, really tantalizing and even addicting to be in the company of someone that makes you feel like they want to know you. Right? One of the things that a narcissist will do very early on is get you to open up. They want to know where all your vulnerabilities are, and they file them. And they file them because when they need to, they're going to pull out that vulnerability and use it against you to keep control over you. And in some cases, to persecute you in the event that you decide that you no longer want to participate in this relationship. I've made a list of the things that I think that narcissists mean when they say, I love you, and I really hope that it helps anyone out there to demystify and better understand what might have happened to them. Because if you've been loved by a narcissist, you've been loved by something that doesn't exist. You've been sucked into a fantasy world because a narcissist lives in a fantasy, right? They believe that they are better than other people, right? They believe that they have the right to hurt you. They lack empathy for your emotions. So there isn't any accountability or not much accountability for how a narcissist treats you. If you dare to try to hold a narcissist accountable, then they push back really, really hard. They guilt trip you. They don't hear you. They don't see you as an autonomous 3D person that has a right to your own experience of them. No bueno. That doesn't happen. When you're dealing with someone who has high narcissistic traits, it's like, we're not talking about me right now. We're not talking about any of my flaws. That makes them feel too vulnerable. They have to push back, and they have to do what they can to blame shift and convince you and guilt you, gaslight you, make you doubt that you have a right to feel what you feel. So I think it's important that we have conversations about what it means when a narcissist says, I love you, because if you understand what they're really saying when they say, I love you, if you have been loved by someone like this, you might gain some of the pieces that you've missed in the past. So I'm hoping that it helps you really pull the pieces of the puzzle together again, because once you have been discarded or you end a relationship with a narcissist, it is like topsy-turvy time. It is like the Twilight Zone. You question everything. You question your reality. You question your memories. Like, did this person ever really love me, right? Did this person ever really care about me? How could I have been so fooled for so long? Like, what red flags did I miss? Well, there were plenty of red flags, but a talented narcissist will get you to doubt how you feel about the red flag. And if you're struggling with codependency, you're already dealing with this inability to honor your own internal reality thing. Adult children of alcoholics, for instance, you grow up in a home where things are unpredictable. Maybe dad or mom is an alcoholic, or your brother or sister is an alcoholic, and mom's not talking about it. So let's say dad's an alcoholic and mom's not talking about dad having alcoholism. Or dad comes home late and he spent all the family's money, and mom's not talking about what's really going on. She's stuffing her emotions like a good codependent. She's seething below the surface like a really good codependent. But what's happening is you're the child in this experience, and you're all confused because your internal reality is telling you that something's wrong. But when you ask mom, she tells you to go sit in the corner, or she says to you, don't ever talk about that again. Or daddy's not drunk. What's wrong with you? How could you say that daddy's drunk? And so that is just a small smidge of what happens to children who come from alcoholic homes, who are taught that what their reality is irrelevant, or they shouldn't trust it. So when there is this type of trauma and drama in a childhood where something negative is happening in the external environment, but the people that I love and that I trust and that I need are acting like this isn't really happening, right? Then what ends up going on is that I am unable to trust my gut instincts. And so healing from codependency is reorienting ourselves to our own natural GPS system. We have to unlearn codependency, then we have to relearn, and then we have to put what we learn into action. And anyone who's interested in learning more about my program that actually helps people do that, it's called the 12-Week Breakthrough Coaching Program, and you're free to check it out at my website. And so let's talk about what narcissists mean when they say I love you. Number one, when a narcissist says I love you, what they're saying is, I love how you adore me. Now, when you love someone in a healthy way, it's a reciprocal relationship. You know that your partner isn't perfect, but you also know that your partner takes accountability, that your partner has the ability to be there for you, and you also want to be there for your partner. You know that it's not always going to be about you, and you even know that you're not perfect, that there are going to be moments where you need forgiveness. People that actually love each other in a healthy way, they celebrate their vulnerabilities and never exploit them. If you love your partner in a healthy way, you're not adoring your partner. You're not putting your partner on a pedestal, right? You see your partner as someone who can make mistakes. He's not perfect or she's not perfect. And that's okay with you because your partner knows that they're not perfect too. But when a narcissist says, I love you, what they're saying is, I love that you adore me. I love how you know that you should adore me. I love how you know that I'm numero uno in this relationship. And so that's the first thing. The second thing, when a narcissist says, I love you, they're saying, I love that you give me all of your attention. What they love is being adored, and what they love is your attention. So what they love is your narcissistic supply, that you are a narcissistic supply. And so when a narcissist says, I love you, they do love your adoration, and they do love all your attention, right? But do they love you? In order to love you, they have to see you as an autonomous human being. They have to see you as someone who actually has needs. And in order to love, they have to feel this mutual respect for you. But in a narcissist's head, you're subordinate to them. And so the ability to actually love you in a healthy, reciprocal way doesn't exist. Number three, when a narcissist says, I love you, what they're saying is that I love how you allow me to make you wrong. The narcissist is going to love the manipulation that they're able to hold over you. They're going to love the control they have over you. They're going to love how you fawn. They're going to love how you understand that you are subordinate to them. They understand that you are going to feel wrong, and they love that. Because if they can make you wrong, then they remain better than you, at least in their head. They remain in control over you. You continue to be a form of narcissistic supply. So ultimately, that's what they mean when they say, I love you. Number four, I love that you know it's your job to adore me, fear me, and to agree with me. When a narcissist says, I love you, what they're saying is, I know that I can intimidate you, and I can see fear in your eyes, and I love that. I love that you are uncomfortable around me. I love how that makes me feel. I love that I'm gaining this source of narcissistic supply from you. I'm feeding off of your energy. You know that you are beneath me because you're afraid of me. So when a narcissist says, I love you, what they're saying is, I love that you're afraid of me. If you're in a healthy relationship, that's non-existent. You don't want your partner to be afraid of you. You don't want your partner, your parents, your children, whoever. You don't want the people that you love to be walking around on eggshells. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, they want you walking around on eggshells. When they say, I love you, they're saying, I love that you walk around on eggshells. When a narcissist says, I love you, what they mean is that I love that I have the power to destroy how you see yourself. You come into a relationship, right, having some level of self-esteem, trusting that this person's on the up and up. You don't know it's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. You don't know it's a bait and switch situation. You don't know that the love bombing is soon going to move into a devaluing stage with passive-aggressive comments. You don't know that behind your back you're going to be triangulated. You have no idea. You don't know that you're going to be gaslighted and that you will soon be questioning your reality. Things like you might say to your partner, I'm not sure that, we're on the same wavelength. And your partner says, you know that we're on the same wavelength. Think about that. I say to you, I don't think we're on the same wavelength. And you say something that seems as innocuous as, you know that we're on the same wavelength. How confusing is that? And when you love someone and you're trying to listen to them and you want to meet them halfway, you're really intently trying to understand what they're saying. And so when they hit you with, you know that we're on the same wavelength, that makes you doubt your reality. Now that happens over and over and over and over and over. Like you can say to someone, you said you were going to pick me up at 5. You know I never told you I was going to pick you up at 5. I told you that I was going to pick you up at 7, right? And you're like, maybe I'm wrong. Think about coming into a relationship with a narcissist and feeling good about yourself and how they put you on the pedestal, and before long, you're pushed off that pedestal and you're confused and you're dazed and you're doubting yourself, you're doubting your worth, you're doubting how you feel, what you think. A narcissist, when they say, I love you, they love that they're able to get you to doubt how you even see yourself. The more a narcissist can get you to doubt how you see yourself, the more control they will have over you. Another thing that a narcissist means when they say I love you is that I love that I never have to allow you to get close to me, but that you let me in completely. What this is saying is that if you've loved a narcissist, right, you might be realizing now or soon you'll realize that the narcissist really never let you in, that the narcissist was all about collecting data and information about you, about your past, that they wanted to lure you out into the light and get you to reveal to them maybe your deepest, darkest secrets, right? And why? Because it's ammunition. Because it's like an insurance policy, right? So when you're opening your heart space up to someone, you're sharing yourself with them, and you're getting close to this person, and you're feeling heard, bonds are being created. It's a beautiful thing, right? It's all of us have come to bond with other people. All of us are very social human beings. But when you're dealing with someone who has high narcissistic traits, you don't always realize, especially in the beginning of the relationship, what is going on. The narcissist is not going to talk to you about their deepest, darkest wounds. They're not. They're going to keep that back because they know once they let you in, you can hurt them. To maintain this power and control over the relationship, they get you to open up to them. You open up your heart space to them, and they stay outside. So what they love is that, wow, you let me in, and I never had to let you into my vulnerable space. When a narcissist says, I love you, it might be helpful to understand that what they're talking about is really rooted in the ability to be able to find as many ways as possible to maintain control over you in the relationship. And so gaslighting is a way that a narcissist will maintain control over you in the relationship. Why? So that you're incapacitated, so that you're always there, so that you're always a form of narcissistic supply, positive or negative. Whether you are adoring someone with high narcissistic traits and telling them how wonderful they are, or you are crying yourself to sleep after another crazy-making conversation, and you're there in the morning pouring the coffee, and you're there at nighttime, mixing the spaghetti sauce, you're still a form of narcissistic supply. Triangulation. A narcissist will use triangulation against you so that he or she can maintain control over you in the event that the relationship begins to sour. Even outside of the relationship, a narcissist is going to be talking smack about you to maintain control over the relationship, even from outside the relationship. So gaslighting allows the narcissist to maintain control inside. Triangulation allows the narcissist to stay in control outside the relationship. When we're talking about narcissists, when they say that I love you, they love the fact that they're able to twist you into some source of narcissistic supply. And as you look back on your life and as you begin to come out of the fog that is narcissistic abuse, what you will begin to notice is that you were treated as if you were a source of property. And when you recognize this, it is a very disheartening place to land. It's like, holy Hannah, like, how did I get here? It is the deepest betrayal because it's mental, emotional, it's psychological, and it's spiritual, it's physical, right? It's like, I gave you everything, and I believe that you were the person that you said you were, and I didn't know that this was all about you taking something from me. Relationships are about an exchange. It's about a reciprocal relationship. It's about, two people that are looking out for one another. So you have the best interest of your partner in mind, and you know that your partner has your best interest in mind. And I really pray from my heart that if you're watching this video, that is something that you're able to manifest in this lifetime. And don't ever give up. Believe that it's possible, because it is. The more you love yourself, the more that you take care of yourself, the more that you refuse to put someone before you. In other words, like, you're willing to set boundaries. You're willing to hone in on what feels right for you. You set those boundary lines early. You pay attention to red flags early. One of the things that codependents do is they ignore red flags, right? They've been taught not to trust how they feel, which makes them a prime target for somebody with high narcissistic traits.